Are we going to do Conjuring 2 next?
Why not?
Well, I'm intrigued by this, so you need to explain here.
So this opened on Monday, actually. So if you've already seen it, drop us a line. It came out in the States last week, where actually it did incredibly well and beat Warcraft in its first weekend. Been doing very well, I hear, in the last few days in the UK. In fact, they've already announced another spin-off. So Annabelle was the spin-off to the first Conjuring film. They've already announced that there'll be a spin-off to this sequel called The Nun. So The Nun is the main ghost, creepy antagonist in Conjuring 2. And Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson are back. They're the psychic investigators, Lorraine and Ed Warren. And they begin the film by looking into the Amityville haunting, so mid-70s in America. Then the action moves forward to 1977, and they head across the Atlantic to Enfield, North London, where, according to the film, everyone says, "Cool, blimey, let's have a fag. Cool, blimey, he's at Emmerich," and speaks like they're from EastEnders. And the Warrens set to work investigating the infamous Enfield poltergeist. So this is children from the Hodgson family, really happened, late 70s, children from the Hodgson family who claim to be hearing strange noises and demonic voices and that claim they're levitating from their beds. Hit the headlines in the British press in the late 70s, arguably as many sceptics about it as there were believers. So that's the setup for The Conjuring 2, and this is the interesting clip that I'm sure we'll be talking about afterwards. Here it is.
No, this is not your house. Now, what's your name?
Knock, knock.
Very well. Who's there?
Bill, 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 Bill.
Bill who?
My name is Bill Wilkins, and I'm 72 years old.
What do you make of that voice?
He sounds confused. Is he senile?
The voice on this tape is coming from an 11-year-old girl.
See, Hader in Birmingham and a whole bunch of other people.
Yes, why is that clip relevant?
Is it just me, or was the demon septuagenarian doing Simon's real voice? Because, I mean, occasionally I have to lapse into my real voice.
There you go, there it is. That's it.
But he's more like Joe Pasquale than anything else, rather than anything in The Conjuring 2. Anyway, I'm not a performing monkey, so I'm quite intrigued by this thing.
It's quite an odd film. There's quite an odd mix of different things going on. Sometimes it takes itself very seriously. Sometimes there are some really out-of-place jokes in it. Sometimes it's very fast and energetic and pacey, and then there are other moments that are really painfully slow. There's a lot of people walking slowly around darkened rooms, taking about one step every 10 seconds. You've got slow, eerie music playing slowly on the soundtrack. And actually, for the first hour or so, the Warrens are still in the States, so the stuff is happening in Enfield, but they're still back in the States dealing with The Nun. So there's quite a clumsy split between the two stories. So it's almost like it can't quite make up its mind on what to focus, so instead it just throws lots of things in and hopes for the best. But maybe about halfway through the film, some of that starts to stick, and there are plenty of creepy moments in it. The Nun is terrifying. I was sat next to Mark watching this. He did lean over to me and whisper, "That's Marilyn Manson," which it's not, but it does look like Marilyn Manson, and that sort of put me off a little bit. I know he was breaking the code, but it was just a whisper.
He was talking in the middle of the film.
It was just a quick whisper, 3 words. It was fine. But it is still creepy, and the attention to detail is very good. You actually see some real photos from the Hodgson family at the end of the movie, and you can see that the way they've constructed the sets, the bedrooms are the same, and they've got the same Starsky and Hutch posters on the wall, and the clothes are identical. So there's good attention to detail, maybe a little bit in your face. There's probably one chunky 70s cardigan too many in this, but attention to detail is good. And the jumps and the bumps and the scares do work. They're not new, they're not clever, they're not reinventing anything, but they still work. It's just that going back to what I said right at the start, it's mixed in with a few weird mood changes that don't quite add up. There's a moment where Patrick Wilson starts serenading everybody with a rendition of "I Can't Help Falling in Love with You," the Elvis song, and you just think, wow, where did that come from? This doesn't really sit anywhere in the film. It's not boring, but it's not The Witch or It Follows or The Babadook or the classic horror movies of recent years. But it's not bad.